Aho MITAKUYE OYSAIN. Aho MITAKUYE OYSAIN. Aho MITAKUYE OYSAIN. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Haush, haush. Ush, ush, ush. Dios te bendiga. Dios te bendiga. Buenos noches. Welcome aboard. Welcome home, my family, my brothers, my sisters. Thank you for joining the live stream. Before moving any further ahead, I'd like to just bless this space to create this sacred container for us all to hold hands and come together for the purpose of sacred unity, that we are all one family operating together in one giant body for the greater, bigger picture, to learn how to be more loving, to learn to see our kindness, how alike we are, how I am you in a different body, having a different experience, as are you for me. So thank you for allowing me to share with you what I have received. Yes, I am live now. I can see you. Mr. Chevrolet. Perhaps that information should be saved in my telephone. So consider texting me the birthday, the year, and date, and I would love to send you something. And don't think it's going to be the master and his emissary again, okay? I'm interested in sending you something different. I've recently done some homework, and apparently there's a wide variety of charts and information we can do having our birth information. However, I'm not really guided to inspire that creation for every single person to do that. And I'll speak exactly specifically why. The reasoning for this is it's good to not do performance or works to attempt to control and be pride and try to control the universe by having a greater understanding of the gyroscopic precession, human design. Okay. However, something does come to mind to share with you personally. That's why I'm speaking this in the live stream. I just want to be authentic with you, and I would love to share that with you. And yes, I still have the intention of doing all the things. We will totally catch up. Maybe I should communicate some aspects here. I'm always intrigued to what dimension of self, of how much of me do I bring to this space, am I treating this like the Truman Show, and that I'm giving complete exposure to all things? And sometimes I'm guided to kind of leave things that are just for select individuals, like certain friends, of saying things, right? I'll give a brief example of this. I'm having nightmares. Okay. I'll share one of the dreams I've been having. One of the dreams I've had, I might have already shared this, so ho'oponopono if I have. Ho'oponopono means I love you, please forgive me, thank you, I'm sorry. Ho'oponopono. Okay, so I had this dream where the entire planet ran out of oxygen, and that we were rushing to get on a rocket ship to leave the planet, and that we were taking a break from going on the rocket ship to go into a grocery store to try to get everything that we possibly could to bring it on the rocket ship. And in the process, I became separated from the love of my life. And in the dream, I'm panicking. I'm completely panicking. I'm like, he's going to go away to another galaxy. How will I ever contact him? However, part of me was guided not to get on that rocket ship. I was going to stay with the Earth and to take care of her or something. And I ended up rushing into some random person's car. But in the dream, it wasn't a random person's car. It was someone who also was going to stay on the planet. And at first, the scientists were all like, oh, here's a stranger coming in the car. However, and then later on in the dream, it's like it's absolutely normal that I'm there. And they were talking about doing this kind of container or igloo on the Earth of reorchestrating the ecosystem. So that was just one of the nightmares. But that's part of the joke. I do have a particular intention for today's gathering, mainly to say thank you to Greg, Wrestling Divas. Wrestling Divas is someone who has supported me since the very beginning, particularly when I am in the business of professional wrestling and I am creating a new gimmick. Excuse the kayfabe, okay? Feel free. I'm a heel. I can take the heat, okay? Anyway, so when I was developing Your Spoiled Brat and I'm working this image, which was originally intended for you to absolutely hate me, to be the best heel ever, for you to hate money, okay? I'm growing older and I have a deeper understanding and awareness of these quantum mechanics of these things. However, if you are a follower of me for a long time, I'm sure you can remember my very deeply impacting, again, the heel of my character, right? Uh, of Your Spoiled Brat, right? And I would love to have a new interview with Greg because I would love to talk about these dimensions. However, I'm not sure if he would really want his image also represented with me kind of exposing some of these things and these parts of it, such as having real life girlfriends, lady friends, friends that are women, really think that I'm really that person. And men, just people really thinking that, hey, that's really who I am. However, some of you have always seen me and you know who I really am. And those of you who are you, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Let me see. I do see some like, hello, homeboy. Do I call you homeboy or do I call you Sydney Sefa? or is both good? Hello, Karshan. Jai Bhagwan. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hello, Christopher. Ooh, I'm excited for a special birthday surprise. You know that I love all the love languages, and gift giving is such a great love language for me because it's like a physical representation of your love. For example, let's do a joke, okay? My brother, my real brother, my blood brother. I told him what I wanted for Christmas, and he remembered. I wanted a tambourine. So I finally have a tambourine in my musical collection. I don't really know what I'm doing. I watched this girl at church go like this or something. I'm shy, so I don't really know how to completely mirror exactly what she did. But bam, she was so good at just using the tambourine. I was like, ooh, thank you, God, for putting that person on my path so I could see that. I've never seen that before. And it lit me up. It made me so happy. So for me, gift giving is a way to physically see and be hands-on with the love because I'm very far from my brother right now. I can't give a hug. I can't hang out. I can't chill. I can't go scuba diving with you. I miss you. But it's kind of a playful way for me to recreate and co-create. Wow, Mr. Chevrolet, you're asking me what's my favorite car. The benefits of this live stream is the fact that we can kind of have this co-creation. Isn't that wonderful, right? So if I think about my favorite car, I instantly would like to go to a childlike fantasy. This is like my little kid brain thinking of like, oh, if I could have any car, right? I didn't grow up a very rich family, right? So like I had a very simple wish. I will admit my first dream car was a Mustang convertible. However, as I grew up and I started this thing that I have called Possums for Pets, Not Stew. I had a pet possum. I would educate people on these marsupials and how they're not rodents and how they can't get rabies and all these wide variety of things, how it uses the litter box, smart like pigs, posable thumbs, prehensile tails. I loved it, right? And so for that reason, I had an interest in getting to play with and explore and own a car called the Honda Element. They had a version of this car where it was completely like waterproof on the inside. Maybe not like waterproof, but it's like plastic everywhere. So like you could just like if the animal went to the bathroom, it's just like easy wipe up and cleanliness. So that's my silly answer to that. However, right now, I don't really have a lot of experience with cars. I've only had my one car. So I'm not really in a position to really say like what car is my favorite car. And I don't buy into your typical culture, like standard traditions of like a Lamborghini or something like that. However, I do love driving. So like maybe if I drove that car, I might really like it. But other than that, I really, again, I have no education. So I had a Honda Civic 2006. That was my first and only car. I loved that car. I literally ran that car into the ground. Or should I say into a ditch? But my real friends will be able to laugh at that. I actually ended up totally destroying that car by not listening to anyone and sliding on ice, not knowing how to drive in that kind of weather condition. However, also not listening. I clearly had been given instructions and I did not pull over and rest, and I decided to pull over, and then I decided, no, I changed my mind, I'm gonna keep driving, and then instantly, right after the moment, I disobeyed. Instant boo-boo. Very, very fortunate, me and George. I had my cat in the car, managed to get away. Let me see some more comments before I get into my attention. My intention. Hello, James. Tights? Sometimes. Right now I'm wearing these things. I kind of can't like come up that high right now. I'm like trying, but nope, not gonna happen. I'm wearing these things that we call long johns. It's like footless tights, you could say. It's like a thermal. It helps keep warm. So I'm kind of able to wear a skirt right now, but also wearing like a legging type thing. So to answer your question. Ooh, Christopher! Do you know Sydney Sefa? Me and Sydney love to play games. I have a very special surprise for you. Also, maybe Sydney. Oh my God, Sydney, I just got an inspiration. What if we played a little bit of game? Oh my God, why didn't I think of this earlier? Oh, we should do a little bit of that. We could like show behind the scenes of like what it's like. Maybe card sharks. What's that other game I like? Concentration, classic concentration. I don't know, I'm just playing around. Listen to your intuition of what resonates. Yes. I'm actually going to be doing how do I say this? An official announcement that I will be doing another testimony in a tub. I'll be giving away the date and the time frame, and I'm working on a graphic, and I made one, and Sydney asked me to correct it or change it, so I am going to play around, see what I can do, maybe communicate with Sydney if I can do things in a particular different way than he might be thinking, and see if we can co-create something where we're both very satisfied with the image that is used for branding and marketing and targeting the audience to know, hey, we're about to do a live testimony and tell where you can join us for like a pre-birthday celebration for me. So it'll be very fun. I'm very, very much so excited to introduce you to Sydney Sefa. I've done some character creations in like virtual realities, you could say. Like, what do they call those? Like your avatar. However, my brain instantly goes to thinking of like the world sentient machine and stuff like that, where like there's like this quantum computer that has a visual or virtual representation of you, and then it has like all these almost like backgrounds or collected data. There's a term they use for it in the Tristan Harris, your undivided attention. I can't think of it, but it's like a profile on you that it's like able to decide and know what kind of moves you're going to make. And they use this world sentient machine to kind of be like a simulator of if there was a world crisis, and kind of being able to know human behavior and what person is going to behave and perform and what's more likely. And they also use certain stimulus, right? Like things that target the amygdala, and put you into fear states or animalistic behavior to kind of have more easy predictability of what your behavior is. So it's been fun communicating with you. Yes, yes. Thank you, Sydney. I know. Well, we got to thank Christopher. We're going to give Christopher that one, okay? Christopher started talking about, like, what's he talking about? He's like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and The Price is Right. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Do they know each other? Is this like a divine synchronicity from God that we're just like not thinking about? I've also never spoken on here how I've actually been a co-host for my first time. Not like verbally, you know, it's been announced on Instagram. However, it was never discussed. The event with Sydney Sefa. So this will be a very, very fun interview. So that's a little teaser, if you will. And now this is my intention. My original intention is really just to say thank you. Where do I begin? Part of me wants to like preface and be like, I'm not really a materialistic person. Like I'm the kind of person, I wanted to make a bad joke about how I could just like throw this in the garbage kind of thing. But also at the same time, I also want to express gratitude that I actually do have appreciation for the things that are given. So there's like this balance, you know, but I'm also the kind of person that if you give me something and it's not really resonating with me, that like, I'm going to give it to somebody else, especially someone that's like so lit up about it. You understand? And my mom used to get mad at me all the time when I was a kid. She'd be like, Trina, why are you giving all your stuff away? But my mom's guilty of doing the exact same thing. So, okay, so these two books have been on my wish list. I want a joke for like a year. But that's not a joke, right? But that's the joke. Is like, oh my God, I've been wanting these for so long. And Wrestling Divas, Greg, is the only person who like buys me books. And like my ego wants to like elbow drop you, like, come on, you don't want to invest in a woman's education? Come on. I'm interested in reading these things. And I have my whole life to read these now. So this one I'm about to show you, very, very divinely orchestrated connection to this person. I have met this amazing woman. Her name is Deanna Clasby, and I was so intrigued by her healing work. I went to see her for addressing my trauma, particularly my sacrum in my body was so much pain and turmoil in this area of my body. And she explained to me that in ancient Egyptian times that they would burn the bodies and that the sacrum would be the last to burn and would be considered the most sacred. And in her office, she has an amazing sacrum. I'm not sure what to call that. It's like a medical professional kit or like something that like simulates. It's not a real sacrum, right? But it's like a model that's used for medical professionals. And I was so intrigued by her work that I was like, dude, who's your teacher? Like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't understand. And I'm very sensitive to like energy or just like the presence or the atmosphere, as we call it. And I just felt really blessed by her and her work, and I really received a lot of relief from my relationship with her. And she told me who her teacher was, and her teacher actually had a video chat with me. And after I had the video chat with him, I totally realized like why this was divinely orchestrated. And apparently he wrote this book, or is in with collaboration with this woman who I have no idea who she is. Her name is Donna, but it's Source Point Therapy. So I'm kind of intrigued. Like I said, I've had this on my wish list for like a really, 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 really long time. I randomly opened to the guardianship level. The guardian may appear to people as an angel, a spirit animal, a spirit guide, or a deity. I keep a candle in the small arch window by my front door. On its glass container, a guardian angel is depicted, and you may have seen this very popular image. An angel hovers over two small children who are crossing a rickety bridge that hangs precariously above a rocky gorge and a rushing river. Our lives are full of Precipices, dangerous moments, turning points, and choices. Most of the time we cross through these as children on bridge do. Happily unaware of the dangers, not realizing the unseen protection we have. As we become more aware of our connection to Source, we also become aware of the guardian energies within it. Again, that interconnectedness. This is mentioning something called blueprint breath meditation. That sounds right up my alleyway. I love meditation and I love breath work. Ooh, what else did I just see? Of course, there's an Alice in Wonderland quote. Yes. Very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. So thank you for this. And then this one. Okay, so this book story, I love storytelling if you can't tell. So I went through a process that's called deliverance ministry. If that resonates with you, highly recommend. And in that book, it talked about different entities or spirits, particularly Leviathan, Jezebel, and Ahab, and I want to say Legion. However, not fully sure. However, after I have completed that, this book was mentioned inside that book, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's called Keep Your Peace On. And I like to think about the boots of peace all the time. Breastplate of righteousness, all those things. Let's show you the back. Ooh. Further away or closer? And is it backwards for you, or is it just like perceptive on my level? First sentence. Walking every day in peace like Christ involves looking at other people with empathy who strive and consider what their life must have been like when they grew up and avoid all words that could start strife. When you can see those who are hard to be around through the eyes of Christ, you can give more grace to them and allow them to speak words that would normally hurt you while keeping your peace and not retaliating in kind. I'm certainly guilty of that. Actually, I did that this week. This person came at me in such a vicious way, and I kind of blew it. I was not very Christ-like at all. So I'm still in that process of, you could say, deliverance, of where I'm being set free of, oh man, I don't even know how to describe that stuff, you know? And I can say that, like, I'm in a different place now. So, like, I didn't blow up in the way that I normally would, like, where I would just mirror exactly how harsh you're being with me back at you. Instead, I kind of just blocked the person and just told them, peace be upon you, goodbye forever, block, you're welcome. And they also wanted a no contact. However, they kept sending vicious things. Very, very hurtful things. And to give a painted picture of it, the only example I can give you is, imagine what it was like for people who had HIV when HIV first came out, and people were afraid that they were going to get contaminated with HIV from sharing the same toilet. And I just wasn't in a place to be able to completely communicate with this person without having emotion in it, especially with, again, the ignorance and the viciousness. So I do confess my sin, and I do hope to learn how to, we could say, be more Christ-like, right? How can I be more nice? How can I see you the way God sees you, instead of taking it so personal, the way that you have attacked my own character or attacked my own personal journey and attempted to insult me and hurt me and be so vicious to me. So I do confess that personal experience. Now, there is one more thing here, and I want to joke. Again, I'm a heel, right? The note, wrestling divas, okay? Or maybe it's appropriate. It says, "Happy birthday, you troublemaker." Part of me wanted to be like, cancel that, clear that. It's not true. However, perhaps I am a troublemaker because perhaps I could have had more tolerance. Or maybe it is time for me to exercise boundaries and being okay with just saying, hey, I choose to not have a relationship with you. So I'm still trying to discover that balance. What's in here? This is also maybe like the second best thing if you don't send a note. I'm always joking how much I love notes sent with the gifts. But the second best thing is like when there's packaging, right? Like you're like, oh my god, I got this thing. I can like rip open this, and there's mystery. What's in the box? We don't even know. So the surprise is fun. I also had to purposely not look at the purchase side of my wish list, so that way like I don't ruin my own birthday surprises. Like I would rather be surprised of what it is. Whoa, whoa, cool. This is cool to see in person. Cool. I forgot this was even on my wish list. Like, again, this is something that's been on there a long time, too. Okay. Well, let's try to show you what it is. All right. So this is supposed to be for your phone somehow. This maybe? Yeah. And then this thing will, like, it's going to, like, wrap around something. And then, so I have, like, portable charger thingy. Or should I say, tripod. Maybe tripod, not charger. Thank you. This will be kind of fun. It's already kind of fun to like bend it and do a little bit of that fidgeting. It's kind of sensory motor comforting. Can I also say, Wrestling Divas, that something way better than any gift you could ever get me would be to actually finally meet you in person. I think that your personal journey is phenomenal. Your strength is just wow. And you could say I've been with you a long time. So I've seen many different flavors of your journey. And your persistence in professional wrestling and your viewpoints and the particular flavor. And oh my God, I want to say your script writing, okay? Wow. So good. So good. You know what I should do? I'm like, when's your birthday? I should totally do the last script that you sent me. It would be pretty funny. I will admit that. However, I want to joke that like the video is going to be so good that people won't know what's real. However, it's long overdue. And there was so much emotion when the moment happened. So maybe like after I film the video, I could be like, hey, thank you so much for watching this. And then tell the story of like what happened, how I can't, I'm not even going to ruin it. I'm not going to ruin it. My ego wants to so badly to just expose how, oh my. It's insane, but it's brilliant at the same time. So I'll have to figure out my wardrobe and the gimmick that I choose to do. I can probably have my partner hold the video camera so that we can create like the perfect video for this. Maybe we can even be like at the mall shopping or have something really total nonsense, total heel. It'd be even funnier like if I had like it like this, like imagine that I'm like coming out of a limousine, and I'm like speaking the script to you know who. And be like, I'm coming after you. So, again, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Thank you so much for being part of the live stream and adding that comment. You can always send me an email, or if you want to write me on Instagram or Twitter, that might be better, like a direct message. Okay, Christopher? Sorry, Greg, we're doing live streaming and trying to do all the things. But thank you, Wrestling Divas. I just, again, like rock star for life, right? I'm really looking forward to seeing where you go from here. And also, I will say one last thing. I am so hopeful that not only will we meet in person, Okay, I got two things to add to that. Meet in person, work in the wrestling ring together. Is that not number one? Like, or just 1 and 2 go together? Okay. And number 3, I've already said this to you. However, I know you're so busy. Testimony in a tub with you. Interviewing you. Letting you be the voice and most of all the face of Wrestling Divas. It's been an honor to work together with you and to be the image and represent Wrestling Divas. I was checking out your banner on your Twitter account today, and I've saved it, and I'm looking forward to sharing it and making sure that I always have that image as like a historical memory. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you would like to comment and communicate for a brief moment before I'm headed out, I'm going to hold a space of silence so that you may have the opportunity. Anyone else, we can just sit in meditation. Maybe take 3 big breaths together. If you feel called, I'm going to encourage you to do a horse breath. I've learned this from Dana Wendell. Especially if you feel stressed out, or if you have tension, or you got some aggression, anger, frustration. It actually really, really helps. Very, very helpful. Even if you just want to be silly. Or if you got that bah humbug kind of vibe. There's also fire breath. Many, many, many different pranayamas, breathwork techniques to help you shift from different, you could say, emotional states, mental states. Usually they're pretty interwoven with each other in the practice of mindfulness. Like your thought is making you mad, and then your mad or your anger or your sadness, like your emotion, is also creating more thoughts that feed the emotion, right? And sometimes we can't even access these emotions, and maybe they come in our dreams and things like this, so buried in our subconscious because we won't allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling. So take time to listen to your body. Check the comments. Hey now, homeboy. Hey, yo, I'm so down. I'm so down. Like my ego, okay? My ego and my inner kid. Like, how big is Canada? Like, how long would it take to get from one side of Canada to the other? Is that like a 16-hour drive? Like what is the large capacity of Canada? I mean, I'm curious. And is it the same? Is it the same that when I drove from Florida to here, would that be identical? Would it not be identical? Would it be like 3 days, 24-hour drive, something like that? Should I also say thank you for the compliment? I'm sorry, like totally like what am I supposed to do with those compliments? I appreciate you. I was like a little hesitant of like, am I gonna go on there with no makeup? Should I do something to my face? I will admit I put some castor oil on my skin. My skin felt like really, really dehydrated and dry. So I put some castor oil and I gave myself like something like this, little massage and pick me up. Supposedly that's not good for your face too, because it's like stretching it or some kind of story like that. However, for me it's like a sensory thing, and it's like feels very good. And hey, certain massage therapists do things like that, so it's being a little playful. I also put the ring light on to have better lighting. But thank you, Sydney. I guess perhaps it could be more simple and just say thank you. You're always so generous and kind and respectful and a very different person. And I think that is a significant reason for the development of our collaboration. You would probably also really, really love Wrestling Divas. I love to introduce people. That's also one of my gifts, is like, if you come to me for a session, it's usually people come to me for consultations. I'm like, I got this person, I got this person, I got this person, and there's this natural path, and then there's this person, and then this person does this, and then this person does this. And I love it's almost like cosmic Cupid, but like not always Cupid in a way that's like how do you say, like, I wanted to say making people lovers, but at the same time, like, I usually bring people together who absolutely love each other. Now, I might not be introducing you to your wife or your husband, but I'm totally introducing you to someone who's going to love you unconditionally and, like, who's going to help you grow and heal and, like, expand on your journey. And sometimes it goes the other way where that, like, I'm guided to bring you guys together because you got something to make this person think differently and break them out of their depression and help them stop being so upset about certain things because you walked it out similar to them. And I also have to say that a lot of times it's not my own egotistical thinking that comes into mind to say, hey, why don't you consider meeting each other? I definitely feel like it comes from a love, bigger than myself. Dios te bendiga. Sí. Gracias. I'll read comments one more time. Cool. Yes. Also, if you have your passport, possibly. A lot of different opportunities, flight opportunities. I really, really, really am a big believer of what's meant for us will never pass us. So if it's part of the divine plan, that there will be divine timing, the resources will be provided, and it'll be very easy, especially as soon as you like pray and ask kind of thing, if you're like, hey, I choose this, I feel like everything just opens up once your heart is totally in that receiving mode and you're open and receptive and willing, and it's there. But if you're like in the repelling, right, and you're like, oh, that'll never happen, you're in doubt, you're in disbelief, like there's no openness and availability to receive your prayer and your asking. You're basically telling God, no, that won't ever happen. I doubt you. No, you don't love me. But instead, if you're like, oh my God, this is my wish and my desire. I have a teacher and a minister, Karen, who teaches that God puts that desire in your heart. That desire would not be there without that love, without that presence. I wish I could pronounce the word. Is it ruha or I need to practice my other languages. I'm trying to say the Holy Spirit in another language, in Hebrew, I believe, and in that way, in that word, ruash, something like that. Ruach, it means a female, kind of like how in Spanish there's hermano and hermana, like the difference, like niño, niña, kind of like that for boys and girls. So I always found that fascinating. So sana, 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 shanti, shanti, shanti. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're called for more time or you're curious to pick my brain, you know what to do. It's your place. It's your call, your destination. It is written. It's your book of life. Recognize your power to be loving, kind, or whichever spirit you choose to have. If you are disgruntled or frustrated or sad, it's possible, it's perfectly valid in understanding why you feel that way. However, you might choose to feel different. So maybe practicing to be happy. What does it feel like to be happy? What does it feel like to be playful? What does it feel like to have fun? Practice. Practice having fun. Fun is not always mischievous. Fun is not always breaking rules. Only you know what is truly, truly, truly peaceful and fun and pleasant. So enjoy the process. Aho MITAKUYE. Shanti. Peace be upon you. Until next time.